Good evening. Welcome to IT Presents. Today, we're very excited to have the fourth episode. We will have our guest speaker, Zhou, and he's going to talk about thinking out of the box. Before that, we'll have greetings and introduction, and our leadership will provide some new development at ITU. After that, we'll have Q&A session. And then we'll have network at the end. Okay. So I have been repeating this many times, but it's always good to remind us how to present ourselves because it's new here. When we look at the camera, we need to sit up to it and just up for the occasion. Create a positive energy. But most importantly, after we listen to the talk, we're going to ask friendly and intelligent questions. You know, we don't have dumb questions, but when you ask intelligent questions, it will make it stand out nicely, okay? So with that, let's show our video, our camera right now and say hi, right? Hi, Eric, our speaker, Anna.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening, good morning.
Good morning. So, okay, Philip is here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Philip. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Dr. Johan should be here, but so Anna, if you could help to contact Dr. Johan, that would be great. Thank you. All right. Every time I will ask one question and answer because you'll be curious, right? We have IT Presents, but it's organized as emerging technology as a series. Why? Because emerging technology is the heart and soul of Silicon Valley innovation. You know, Tesla right now is very hot company, and it becomes the most valuable company in the automobile industry. So one thing we learn from them is the innovation of battery, because you want both power and duration. The time lasts longer. Without innovation, it will not happen, right? So innovation, emerging technologies, they really go hand by hand, hand in hand in the innovation. So when we organize it into a series, this actually gives us an opportunity to invite speakers from different areas and talk about different perspectives according to their own unique personal and professional journey. So when I first introduced this concept to candidates, they kind of say, hey, what's the topic? We say, hey, no worry, it's about emerging technology, but will emerging technologies and Silicon Valley as the backdrop to your personal journey, to your professional journey. It works quite well so far. On the other hand, students can capture this different perspective in their final report. Okay. And I always show these expectations. Many times the expectations really set up for experiences. When students come prepared, they can ask good questions. And the speakers also will keep these 3 questions in mind. And how are their unique journey? How does emerging technology shape their journey? And how are they going to embrace the future? All right. So with that, I think my session is almost done, but let's see if our guests are here. So Philip's here, but oh, students are coming now. Dr. Johan and Yao, they're supposed to be here. So there's some logistic challenge today because the Zoom link I sent out today before was invalid. So I just sent out the correct link. I'm glad that student can join us. Hey, let's introduce again. I see student Renzo is here. Could you turn on your camera? Hi, I'm glad you make it. And Theda is here.
Yeah, sorry, the Zoom link was not working earlier. I just.
Yes. Okay. So thanks. Thanks for being flexible. I just sent a announcement in our class, and I'm glad you can make it. All right. Let's wait for another minute. Let me send a message to Dr. Johan. Okay. Well, this is the challenge of life. And so now let's start with Eric's talk first. Are you ready? So let me introduce you a bit before you start. Thank you for being flexible. Well, I would say if you look at Eric's bio, there are several steps of transformation. His bachelor degree and master degree are all from ME, that's mechanical engineering, and then he became IT engineer. Then comes a big step, becomes CIO. Wow, in Seoul, Silicon Valley. And then he helped companies go IPO, and now he's helping another company going IPO. So we're so excited to let Eric to share his story in detail, because this is the big part of the talk. And most importantly, we'd love to see, your early struggle and how you overcome it. So that will become very valuable to our students. Okay. So with that, I will transfer the screen to Eric. Okay, let's give Eric a round of applause.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to start sharing and give it to you.
All right.
Okay, it's your time.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, it's great. Yeah, so this is a typical technical challenge time to time. So we all work from home, study from home. Yeah, so I think the society is not quite ready for that. Technology also helps a lot, but still have a lot of room to improve. So let me just introduce myself. I've been working in Silicon Valley 20 plus years. So I started, like Michelle said, I started as an engineer. So I was an IT engineer working on a lot of network, database stuff. And over the years, so I built my career. So I became a management or CIO, just basically running the corporate IT department. In 2012, that was one significant, I think, I would say, really great memory in my career. So we took a company public, NASDAQ. That's, I think many of us in Silicon Valley, that's Silicon Valley dream. I also started my own company doing IT consulting, just providing all the IT services for Silicon Valley companies as well. So I currently EVP for business development at the Rahi system. Yeah, it's about 700 people in Silicon Valley, and we have about 20 offices worldwide. Yeah, so that's a little bit of my background. So I started learning mechanical engineering, but ended up pretty much my career has nothing to do with what I learned in college. So yeah, since I'm pretty much focused on data center and IT industry over the years, so I'm going to share some of the industry background and also some of my experience. So yeah, feel free to ask questions if you have any. So talking about data centers, probably many of you heard about data center time to time. Data center now in these days is getting more and more critical. Since we're working from home, we have a lot of things in the cloud. So data center, the whole industry is growing every single year. Really, the demand is getting higher and higher. If you see the picture on the right, that's a typical how a data center look like. It's concrete building. Inside the building, there's a lot of racks, power cables, storage, and outside the building or near the building, there are generators, UPS. It's basically you need the full infrastructure, keep the whole data center up and running 24/7 year round. So why we need a data center? If I were curious, so around us in San Jose, Silicon Valley, there are many data centers. If time to time, you probably will drive by, you will see a company like Inconex, Digital Realty, CoreSite, CentralLink. You will see some of the buildings, but you won't be able to get in. So they have a very tight security. So you can see the concrete building with all the company logos, but you will need permission to get in. So the reason why we need a lot of data center, because we have a lot of data in these days. So I think every company, including your university, you probably put a lot of things into the cloud. So each day we generate lots of data. You look at some numbers on the screen, just for Netflix, YouTube, Twitter, Google search, Instagram, and emails. There's lots of data. So it's growing every single day. So worldwide, I think there are more than 500,000 data center facilities, large ones, small ones. There's a lot. It's hosting lots of data. So second thing of data center, I think cloud computing. Every company these days is going to cloud. So your email, your file sharing, and your video, your messaging, all these things are in the cloud. And you probably heard the Internet of Things. So more and more smart home, and some shops use a lot of devices. All these devices connect to the internet. And of course, when we all stay home, there's a lot of streaming services. You probably heard they're booming. A lot of videos, a lot of short videos every single day. So that's why we need a data center to keep all this data somewhere. That's what will be in the data center. And also to prevent data loss. So if you keep all your data on your computer, your laptop, or on your phone, if one day your computer dies, so all your data is gone. So that's why more and more people put in the cloud, and that's why we need a data center. So this industry, it's not a new industry, but in the past couple of years, it's growing very fast because of the cloud and also AI, artificial intelligence. That's put a lot of data. So Michelle mentioned the Tesla. They're saying Tesla, a lot of things in the data in the data center, and all the analysis and all the data, all the car, all these things are in the cloud. So data center, I think every couple of years is gonna double, all the capacity gonna double. So that's how data center look like. If you ever get into a data center, there's just a lot of infrastructure. If you see, these are the racks. These are all the cables running, connect all the servers, switches, storage. And of course, there's a lot of cooling infrastructure because every single device with your power on is generating a lot of heat. So you need to get all the heat out of the building. So it's pretty massive infrastructure of the data center. There are a couple of components. The main component is data center. If you consider it's a full 24/7 year-round operation, so you need a lot of servers. So a lot of physical servers, and also every company uses virtualization. One physical server, you can put the multiple virtual servers. Network gears, that's important because network connect all the servers, also connect out of the data center, connect to the internet. That's why we can access all the information around the world because of all the network connections. Physical infrastructure, that's more in the data center itself, racks, power, the generator, UPS, containment, cooling system, etc. And one big piece of the data center is storage. If you think about it, how many YouTube video each day people upload. So we're doing the YouTube streaming right now. So that's generates probably 2 hours, maybe a couple gig data. So every single day around the world, people generate a lot of data. So all these data store in storage in the data center. So regardless, it's in the cloud and at the physical layer, that will be stored in the computer storage somewhere in the world. So this is how the data center look like. So you see there's a door. Typically people call it containment. So all the hot air gonna going through this closed area. So there's airflow design for every single data center. So they can push all the hot air through some channel outside the building. So that's why they need a containment. They have a door, all the heat gonna go up and they go out. Yeah, on the right side, this typical server storage, how they look like in the data center. Another side, I want to share a little bit about the IT industry, information technology. Some people call it information and communication technology. So there are many, I think, area inside the IT. If some of you are learning, study engineering, so IT can be a really good, I think, career or in the future. There are many areas, so have audio, video, industry, and also you have network and security. You have database. So there are many things in IT. So I used to run IT. So in IT group, there are many programmers, there are many network admins, security officer, business analysis, etc. So there's a lot of actually job opportunity there. One of the IT, I think, function is getting really popular in these days, particularly in this pandemic time. It's called audio video technology. So it's mainly used for conferencing, people working in the building or from home. So there's a lot of technology behind the scene. So my company actually provide a lot of these services for Silicon Valley companies. And right now, we're also providing a lot of services to connect people. I think education is one big, I would say, potential for many companies, because for schools, they need to figure out how we open it after summer, and how to run a remote education more efficiently. So there's a lot of things behind this, a lot of people working on this. This is a typical, I would say, a conference room where you can working remotely, connect everyone. Yeah, today's, I gotta pick a topic, think out of the box. Because Silicon Valley, you might heard, it's full of opportunities. So every single year, there are many good companies went public. I just listed a couple that these are the companies went public last year. And year 2020, the list of company also prepare for go IPO. These are the really, really great technical companies. Doesn't matter, I think, where you're from, you speak good English or okay English, or doesn't matter your major. So Silicon Valley full of opportunities for everyone. So one particular company I want to share with you, since I've been working with Zoom a lot, with this company. I use Zoom a lot, and I just want to share the Zoom story. Probably, hopefully, you get some idea how the successful Silicon Valley company work and how they be so successful. So Zoom, we are using Zoom right now. So it's a conferencing solution. Let's start with the founder of the Zoom. So Eric Yuan. So he studied, I think he went to college in China. In 1990, he was impressed by Bill Gates' internet pitch. At the time, he at college, and he was struggling. He wanted to see, I think, his girlfriend. It took a train for many hours. So he tried to figure out a way to be able to see each other. It's more like a conferencing site instead of take a train for many hours. So he's really passionate about it. So however, he started apply visa, come to the US. He tried 8 times, got a reject 8 times. So the ninth times he got his visa. So he finally came to the US. And he joined the company, got a WebEx. He was the engineer. He joined the company. He was the engineer. At the end, there's a large company called Cisco. You guys probably heard. They are making, at the time, making video conferencing and a lot of equipment. So Cisco bought WebEx, and at the time, Eric, he was the VP of engineering, so a very technical guy. After joining Cisco, and he think there are a lot of things can be improved for the WebEx product. So he talked to the management, just share his idea and customer feedback. Just say, hey, we can make this product much better, so we can provide a better product to the customer. At the time, Cisco is so big, so his voice is kind of ignored. He and another, I think it's about 40 engineers, they left Cisco and started Zoom. So it's not a new product or to offer at the time, because at the time, the video conferencing space is very crowded. You got all the big companies like Cisco, Polycom, and a couple of others. They're all big companies. And Zoom, since they use very unique technology and the programming, these are all very, very good engineers. So they quickly develop and deploy their solution. So it's very simple, like everybody can use anywhere, anytime, any devices. That's what customer really wants today. So yeah, it's been, when it first started, a lot of people don't really think they can be very successful, because this industry is not a new industry. It's very mature. It's been there for a long time. They are complicated, they're expensive, and require a lot of investment to make it successful. But Zoom and the team, they make it really, really successful. Yeah, and they went public last year, and I think today their stock is at 246. I checked yesterday. During this time, pandemic time, you will see a lot of schools, a lot of the companies start using a video conferencing solution, and Zoom is, I think, it's on the top. Their services, it's video quality, voice quality, it's been great. So it's myself, I have probably at least 5 Zoom meetings a day. So yeah, this, I would say, Zoom story or Eric's story, it's really, I would call it American dream or Silicon Valley dream. So engineer, started a totally different major in college. And he couldn't speak much English at all when he first came to the US. He just put all his effort, his passion, and at the end, so he's a billionaire. So I think that can be something, think about Silicon Valley. It's a lot. Every single year, there are many good companies, regardless you're a founder, you're an engineer, or your management, there's always opportunity. So a couple of things I want to share with you about Silicon Valley. I think we all came from different backgrounds, different country, different culture, sometimes a lot of different languages. So one thing good about Silicon Valley, it's every single company is very diversified. So culture-wise, that's probably the best place for innovation. I worked for a couple companies, so I think any company I worked easily, you have probably 15 plus people from different culture background. But however, since Silicon Valley attract all the probably best people in the world around all these countries, so these are the great people and make great technology and a great company. Well, I'm not sure your career stage. Some of you still students. Some of you probably ready to work or already working. I just share some of my experience, I think, to grow your career in Silicon Valley. One side, all of us from technical background, I think many of us, technical skill is important. That's how we started. And communication is extremely important. So I look back my career, I think probably the most important skill is communication. So communicate to your peer, communicate to your boss, communicate to another department, communicate to vendor, communicate to customer. So communication skill, if you have time, probably it's worth to put a lot of effort to on the communication skill. And the leadership. So it's a lot of when you try to grow in the company, and after many years, you probably want to be a lead. You want to grow your career, so you want managing a bigger task or a project. So leadership skill, that's also important for yourself or for a company. Presentation, it's also important. Depends on the audience. So how you can convince people your ideas, or how you make your points easily to be accepted by others. And also, of course, probably most important relationships, how you work with your boss. Because your boss is leading the group. He decides what are the project, who's working on what. And the team up. So that's I think on the skill side. On the right hand side, there's some other things I also would like to share. Teamwork, it's important. And Silicon Valley, there's some superheroes, but most of the time, I think teamwork is much better and can produce a lot more than one individual. Working environment can be complicated. There's office politics, there are HR issues. There's people always talking about the fear or unfair. But at the end, working environment, every company try to be fair, but there's no such things totally fair. So we just need to put our effort to do a good job. Yeah, and also at the end, I think a mentor can be very helpful. So my experience over the years, when running into issues, always, if you have a good mentor, that's always very helpful. Yep, I want to touch on this. So I think at school, you have a structure. You can ask for help, ask a professor, or at work. I think if you can figure out, somebody can help you, guide you a little bit, that will be very helpful. All right, so I also want to share a little bit about what to prepare. I think we are in this pandemic time. It's a very interesting time, year 2020. There's a lot of interesting things happening. We still have a couple more months for this year, I think, particularly before the US election. If you look at the charts, so number of cases is still increasing every single day. So you still probably hear all the political, I would say, argument about how we manage this, how to control, how to open, how to reopen. Yeah, it's fortunately or unfortunately, that's how the system works. But I fully believe, I think the US will get out of this eventually. It'll make us more stronger. But right now, it's just a lot of political chaos. if you look at the chart, we think we have a shelter in place early March, and we lift restrictions early May. At the time, I think everybody think we probably is ready to reopen, but right after that, I think the cases are over 3 million. If you look at the right side of the chart, these are the comparison for some other countries. On the top chart, you'll see European Union, right? So they start getting hit really bad. Italy, I think you probably saw the news, is really bad. But gradually, they manage it very well. So the overall, I think in Europe does not include the UK, this number. It's managing very well. I think you're getting out of this probably a lot sooner than the US. Another side, you will see the US is still going up. So total, the population of total European Union is about the same as US population. So system-wise, very similar. So we could have done much better job, but I think we will continue try the best we can to control this. On the bottom, these are the Asia country. These 6 countries, total population, and also I think close to US population. So they're all managing very well. They got hit pretty hard, and at the end, so they're all in good control. So yeah, for us, we have a lot to do. Probably in the next couple months, maybe longer than that. However, there are challenges. Also, there are opportunities too, right? So if you look at this chart, still jobless claiming is still going up. Still, a lot of people losing their job. I think at the time was 15% of the workforce lost their job. Now I'm not sure. This is probably 70%. It's very high. If you look at also the economy, you got hit pretty bad. So this is one of the things for you students to probably you also think about. This is going to last for some time. So in career-wise, what are the, I would say, directions? What are the job opportunities in the future? That's something you might want to plan ahead of time. If you look, a lot of jobs, it's very challenging. For instance, a lot of services related to the job. So if you do service work, because a lot of building are not allowed during this time. Another side, if some of the company is booming, particularly for these internet streaming companies, and also remote education, remote medical services. These are all, I think, for the future. These are has a lot of demand to grow. All right, so yeah, I think I will save some time for Q&A for industry, etc. Let me. Last thing I want to share with you some quick fun of this career choice. If you guys agree, you can take a look at this. So typically, when people have math skill and no problem-solving skill, most likely this person is going to be an engineer. So that was me. So I started as an engineer, a technical guy. So if you have problem-solving skill and you also learn the people skill, so most likely you will be a manager. And you know math well, you have OCD, so accountant can be a good fit. You know, accountant, most of people insist something need to be followed or need to be fixed. So it's very, insist get things done in the right way. All right, if you have people skill, you know how to drink, you can be a salesperson. So, and if you are OCD, you're heartless, you can be a human resource. And if you drink and heartless, you can be a lawyer. But anyway, it's just for fun of it. So I think that's pretty much I try to go over, share with you. Yeah, so I would get this back to Michelle so we can probably have some Q&A if you have any questions. Hey, Michelle.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Eric. Let me share the screen. Well, our schedule changed a little bit because the technical issue at the beginning, but we have good handle. So Dr. Johan has joined us. So just plan ahead. After this Q&A session, we'll have Dr. Johan, the chair of the EE department, will give us an update on new development. So before that, let's reflect about the talk. The best way is ask questions. One of the good thing about this session is our assistant Anna, she will present a quote each time about questioning. All right. This time, the quote is: persistent questioning and healthy inquisitiveness are the first requisite for acquiring learn of any kind. Okay. So it's a little bit long, but I really echo with the healthy inquisitiveness. It's really echo with our ask intelligent questions. All right. And this is important when you first learn anything. So think about Eric's talk, and does anything intrigue your interest? You want to learn more? Or is something that is against your intuitive? Is it, perhaps it's not that way, okay? So it's your time to open up the question. Or, you know, Eric, he has been through so many different positions. We can look at him as a mentor, okay? And ask questions. You know, something that is really related on to yourself, right? So you have many options. Let me see in the participant. Anyone, if you have question, please raise your hand. I know people are short. Okay, Dr. Johan raised your hand. Thank you. So unmute yourself. I'm going to make you a co-host.
Okay. Hi, Eric. Sorry, I joined the meeting late, so I didn't get a chance to introduce properly myself. I'm the department chair for electrical and computer engineering department at ITU, and long history in the industry as well. So if for the benefit of actually our students, if you were to hire a junior in your company today, what set of skills would you highlight as far as what's related to what you do, basically storage and
I would there's I think a couple of things for new graduates. So probably number one, the attitude. I think we have a lot of I think new graduates join the company. And I think attitude is probably most important because I mean most of the students are capable, but all the companies, probably any company, they have a different way to operate and to adapt the company culture, to learn things quickly. I think that's probably the most important thing in the company. Obviously, if you are prepared, some troubleshooting skill and some analysis skill, that will be very helpful.
Very good, excellent. And maybe may I ask another question? Is that okay, Michelle?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and have you seen the impact of the COVID in the sort of tech industry or in the sort of high tech, I would say, industry? I know that the service industry has been impacted quite a bit, and education like schools and daycares and things like that. But do you foresee the impact of this epidemic on the high tech industry soon or later?
Yeah, some of the I think majority of company got hit. Some of the high tech company, they're okay. A company like Zoom, company like Okta, I'm not here. You heard of the company? It's an internet security company, or Box.com. These are the internet storage company. So these are company, seems they're doing fine. Like Zoom is doing extremely well during this time. However, there's a lot of another high-tech company. If you think about it, telecom, semiconductors, some industry, and also some high-tech company in Silicon Valley also got hit pretty bad. Probably a surprise to see the stock market keep going up, but if you see the company earning is not that good. So because of the whole supply chain slowing down, and the company I work for, so we have a lot of projects. Our customers just say they are either because there's no immediate needs right now, or they want to slow down spending the money, because I think every company these days concerned about cash. The cash during any crisis, always company, probably a student, everybody heard cash is the king. So cash flow, you have cash, you can grow, you can survive. If you got a cash flow problem, a lot of company, there are already a lot of company closed down around it. So it's a big challenge.
Very good, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, I don't see other people raise your hand, so I'm going to ask a question. Eric, you talk about data center is your expertise, right? And you see like Google, like IBM, AWS, they are all big names of cloud, behind cloud data center. So what are the competition overall picture, and how does the company, like, they want to provide data center as service and compete to those big brands? So
yeah, I think these company, particularly all these large company, invest a lot, billion dollars in data center. There's a couple of large cloud companies like Amazon. So Amazon invests over probably more than 15 years the cloud. So there are another side. There are many data centers that provide data center services. Company like Digital Realty, Inconex, Iron Mountain, CoreSite. So these are the company, they run data center business. So they lease space for another company. So for instance, if I want to put my IT infrastructure into a colo or a data center space, I'm going to go to one of these data center service providers like Inconex. So competition-wise, that's very, it's a very, I would say, rough competition because high tech always the case. But however, the demand is high. The market is growing, so they all seems doing pretty well because the pie is getting bigger. So I would just say that's a good industry to build your career if you could, because there's a lot of opportunities.
That's wonderful. How about, have you looked at the industry and compare those in the US and in China? Because China is also have Alibaba, QQ. They all have a huge data centers, right? So technology-wise, and how do they compare?
Yeah, so it's the two largest economies, the US and China. So technology-wise, is also, I think, the US and China. So China, over the years, innovation and I think economy is growing really fast. They also have really good tech companies. Yeah, Tencent, Alibaba, and also you probably heard from the news. Maybe you guys also use the TikTok. These are really solid tech company. They pretty much on the same level of competition as US tech company. Good product, and they also invest a lot, but in US as well. So in Virginia, you'll see a data center, Alibaba, TikTok, they invest massive investment to build a data center there. So it's there's a lot of opportunity. For the company like TikTok, they're hiring a lot of people right now. So they're hiring good engineer, experienced engineer, also new graduates. So they're hiring, they plan to hire a lot of people. They're growing.
Yeah, but seems like there's a war, like the US government are going to shut down TikTok. So when we choose career, how should we keep those in mind?
So these political, I think these political challenges would happen. I think probably we're getting more challenges, I think before the election, because there's a lot of good reason or bad reason behind the scene. I think since some of these companies like TikTok, they backed by a lot of US investors as well, the massive investment. I really hope, I think probably at the end, it should work out some sort of agreement. So probably everybody can move on.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, work together is always better. All right, I see Philip raised his hand. Sorry for the wait.
That's okay. I just want to point out, hopefully the student get the importance of the questions that Dr. Johan asked earlier, and also they realize the answers from Eric is also very crucial. What Eric points out, how to get yourself hired. Technical skill set is a given. What makes you become or get hired or even becomes the asset of a company is all your intangible qualities. Eric mentioned about analytical thinking skills, problem solving skills, all those are generic skills that is transferable. And as far as I remember, both Eric and Dr. Johan falls in the same category. Eric's his studies was in mechanical engineering. As I remember, Dr. Johan's study was in electrical engineering. And both of them are out of their studies and still be successful. The reason for that is that they could generalize their skill set enough to make it transferable. So how are the students going to do that? So that's the key to make your skill set. It doesn't matter what your concentration is right now, but generalize it enough to make your skills be transferable. So that's how it's going to keep your career keeps on going and be successful. So I want the students to make sure that you guys get that. This is $1 million answers to the questions. Both the questions and the answers are right on the button. That's how you make yourself successful in your careers to come. So I just want to point that out as it's very important and something that you might not be able to get it from a textbook. But in real life, that's how it is going to help you be successful. And Eric and Dr. Johan is a good example of that.
Yes, thank you, Philip. Yes, this is always a good reminder. And this would be a good tip for an interview question as well. You know, how I'm going to contribute to the new job, to the new position. Okay, so I don't see students raise your hand, but it's okay. In the networking, like last time, we're going to give you a each person time to ask questions. Prepare for that, okay? So now let's turn on to the next session. Let's welcome Dr. Johan to give us some exciting update about his department. All right. So let's give Dr. Johan a round of applause.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right.
Quickly, Michelle, how much time do I have for so that I don't interfere with that?
15 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Okay, very well.
I'm going to stop sharing now.
Very good. Thank you. I'll share my screen with you guys and just bring up a couple of so let me start off by saying that if you look at the mission of ITU, if you look at the mission statement, there are normally mission statements are, you know, a paragraph that specify what's the big picture and the vision of an institution about where they want to go and how they see the responsibility of the institution. And if you look at that, the part that gets highlighted and you see it repeated often in other areas, and all you have to do is just go to your catalog, school catalog, to see what the mission statement is. But the part that I want to emphasize is the fact that ITU believes that education should be relevant. And since we're in Silicon Valley, the education that we provide to students of all different backgrounds, regardless of the background, is we want to make sure that's relevant. And this is the type of thing that happens in Silicon Valley in general. You see there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of, and coming from all people, all sorts of people, companies with people with very diverse, Eric pointed out, diverse backgrounds, CEOs of Indian descent, Chinese descent, Middle Eastern descent, and Asian descent, everywhere, South American. These companies are there because the people who came up with the ideas and build the company are people who are innovators and anyone can be an innovator. Okay, so we take that, if you take that idea of a industry relevant education in the context of what we're doing here at ITU, then we arrive at some of the programs that we have currently developed and are in the development process. One of them is the new AI concentration that I personally was deeply involved. I designed the program because that's what my expertise is. Outside the university, this is how what I do. And I know the ins and outs of this technology. I've been in it. I did my PhD in this area, and at that time it was called pattern recognition. And I worked in the industry for a long time, close to 25 years, and basically applying these techniques to different application areas. So the way I designed this AI concentration, it's the fact that I looked at what are the skill sets that are required for as far as the industry is concerned. And also there are fundamental concepts that you need to learn. So a combination of these two makes something that I believe is called an industry relevant curriculum or education. So they will just give you a quick background that why am I talking about AI concentration? If you look at our, for example, computer science department, even in electrical engineering, computer engineering department, we had individual courses in this area. There's a deep learning, there was an machine learning, but they didn't translate into a directed, and they weren't that relevant. They were just single courses. So this AI concentration is designed in such a way that it gives you all the pieces that you need in order when you graduate and you have the general understanding of this field and you have a hands-on experience. So let me start off the fact that I believe this is a multidisciplinary area and people with different background can, and they are involved in this AI area. That's why we opened it up to all these following disciplines, the disciplines that are kind of STEM-based and also somehow software and engineering related. So people, if you are electrical engineering, electrical and computer engineering, software engineering, computer science, and I forgot there's one more, which is ICS, which is the people who are in the cybersecurity. Also can join. So these are the three divisions inside the computer science department, and these are electrical and computer engineering. So this is open to all of those. What does that mean? It means that if you are currently a computer science major, what you do, you take 3 core classes in your own department. For the computer science, these 3 classes that are listed here are completely different. If you're an ICS major, a cybersecurity major, the 3 core classes, which are supposed to teach you the fundamentals of the field you are been admitted to, are those. So if you get basically a degree in computer science with AI concentration, or you get a degree in electrical and computer engineering with a concentration of AI. So these 3 classes that I've listed as core classes are the classes that you'll be taking in your own department. If you are in the ECE department, this is what the courses are going to be. It's a computer networking class. There is an advanced Python course, and there is a standard system class, digital signal processing. If you are in software engineering, you probably do software elicitation, you do agile and software engineering. And if you're in computer science, you probably do others. Okay, so these 3 classes are classes that you're going to take in your own department. I want to emphasize this advanced Python class, because even if you are in a different department, but I highly recommend that you take this class, because in this class, we teach you the basics that you need later on for the advanced tools that are used in AI. For example, you learn about function decorators, you learn about class decorators. And if you look at PyTorch 2.0 and TensorFlow 2.0, Keras, and PyTorch, you'll see that these features are actually used in the language, in those frameworks, which are the tools of implementing AI. So even if you are not taking this class and you're not in the ECE department, I highly recommend that you take this class. But majority of the courses in the AI called an AI concentration is basically are in the elective classes. There are some required electives because I believe that you need to know this stuff before you move on to other topics. So there is an AI math fundamentals that you learn. It does a review of linear algebra, matrix algebra. It does a little bit of calculus, and also a lot of statistics and probability. But the way this course is taught, that you do everything, you'll use Python to actually calculate distributions, you use Python to calculate gradients, and to do matrix manipulation. So this course is very hands-on. It's not just a math course. Math course, implementation in Python. So it's a very useful thing, and you pick up skill set that are actually necessary in order to do that. Then we have a basic machine learning class that you learn about the classical machine learning in this course. You learn about classifiers, regressors, and you learn about support vector machines. You learn about decision trees. You learn about random forests. So all of this stuff, which are considered as part of the classical machine learning, is taught in this course. This course is actually offered in the fall. So both the advanced Python and machine learning is offered in the fall. We also have another one, which is called Fundamentals of Deep Learning, using TensorFlow, Keras, or PyTorch. We alternate so that we can teach the students the tools. This is the basic deep learning class that talks about convolutional neural nets, talks about GANs, it talks about RNNs, recurrent neural networks, and it talks about some applications. Okay, this course, because I couldn't find anybody, I'll be teaching it myself. So this course, just term, I'll be teaching it. So in the fall, ECE 510, ECE 655, and ECE 502 are both offered, all of them are all offered. Then we move on to the elective classes. All these elective classes require that you take this course, the Fundamentals of Deep Learning, because in my experience, when I've taught this class, for example, I taught this reinforcement learning class just last term, and I realized if you don't know the basics of deep learning, students get lost. So I made this course, ECE 655 of deep learning, a requirement or prereq for all the other ones. Reinforcement learning, I don't know if you've heard the name, but this is the technique they use to beat the Go champion. So it's used also, it was used in a lot of games actually, that you play like against the computer. Reinforcement learning is used quite a bit, and it's a different kind of AI where there's an agent that needs to interact with the environment, similar to like a little kid who is learning to walk or is learning about hot and cold things. It tries once, the hand burns, then next time it's going to be a little bit more careful when it sees the cup of tea or coffee. And then next time it gets better. So by trying, it learns more. The reinforcement learning is that kind of course, and it's very popular. It's used in finance, it's used in engineering a lot. And so that's an interesting course. And the other course is a natural language processing course. This is the basis of all this digital assistance and also Google Translate. All of this are based on this technique where you use AI for text processing and speech processing. Then here is what I wanted to sort of, this is something that you probably see elsewhere as well. But I want to focus on these other elective classes that I've mentioned here. Implementation of the ML or AI algorithms on hardware accelerators, GPUs, TPUs. And there are certain tools. And this is something that if you want to deploy any AI algorithm, you need to use these techniques. So we have developed a course that teaches you all of this stuff, the optimization that happens, because AI requires, as Eric was saying, a lot of data. And as soon as you start using a lot of data, then you need hardware accelerators to process this information. Otherwise, for a training a neural network on real data, you may have to wait a week. So hardware accelerators speed these things up. So there's one course like that. There is another course on engineering applications. So this could be one term, how self-driving cars use AI, and it's a combination of sensor technology plus algorithm development that's unique to that, computer vision, and AI application cybersecurity. What I mean is that in an application class, one term you may learn about self-driving car, next term it would be a cybersecurity application. And there's a similar one for business majors. So if you're in fintech, algorithmic trading, this has become actually fairly popular. A lot of finance companies now hiring AI engineers to help them out with some of this automated system. So business was one step behind, but they're catching up very fast. I'm talking about the industry now. I'm not talking about the schools. So the industry is trying to incorporate and implement a lot of AI. So there are a lot of opening in the industry, in the business and finance industry as well. The last one has to do, the last elective course has to do with how to implement. Okay, so you've got developed an AI algorithm. How do you put it on an iPhone so that it can do face recognition? Or how would you implement it at something that runs fast? A lot of times they refer to this as AI on the edge, or so on edge devices, basically something that needs to run fast. And so this is also a very important aspect of this, that you learn about how to use TensorFlow Lite and other techniques to get your AI so that you can develop an app that uses this AI. So this is pretty useful class as well. The rest of the stuff is the capstone that you have to do anyway, but you need to sort of make sure that your capstone is related to AI. You do the internship. You have the ITU Present as the one that you're attending right now. And there are nugget courses that you need to take too. And the content of these nugget courses, as I'm sure Michelle has explained to you in detail. But the idea is that if there's a trend and we have someone, an expert like Eric, we can ask him to, if he has time, spend a weekend or a day to talk about the latest and greatest in the storage technology for us. And you get credit for this. So these would be nugget courses that are going to be offered. And then also AI, if you're not interested to do this AI as a concentration, you can do it as a minor. And the minor, basically, you have to take these 3 classes, which are the fundamental classes, and then you can take one of the electives from the other ones that I mentioned already. All right, so this was one thing. I think I am kind of out of time now. I wanted to talk about the bridge program as well. So I don't know, maybe we'll leave it for some other time. What do you think, Michelle?
Yeah, I think leave it to another time.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm stop sharing and then back to you, Michelle.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is very exciting. And we'll leave the questions at the networking session, okay?
Sure.
Before that, we have 2 minutes to wrap up. Usually this time is exciting. We want to have a screenshot. so that everybody can show our smiley face together. All right. It takes some techniques, some skills to take it well. All right. So everybody turn on your camera, please, and put a big smile. And then I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Then you do it. Okay. So take some time. Also look at yourself, sit up to the camera. Okay. Adjust your position so that you look good in the camera. All right. I know Patrick's here. Patrick, can you show yourself? Hey, wow. You know, we're so exciting. Patrick is from Hong Kong and it's in the morning, right? Yeah, you're muted.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Just say hi. Yes.
Hi. Hi, Patrick. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Zhou, sit down. Could you sit up a little bit? Adjust your camera. Okay, very good. Yes, perfect. All right.
Philip is here too.
Yeah, Philip, he cannot turn on his camera. Hey, wow, yeah. What a nice surprise. This is the first time. All right, very good. I know Janani, she's in the back end doing the live streaming, so we'll have her picture on. So I will say 1, 2, 3, and then you will have the smile. Okay. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Does it work? Okay, I think I missed it. So let's try again because my software is at the other side. Okay, I tried to look at the camera. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Let's see.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, I think we got it. It's very good. Thank you. Usually we'll have a wrap up screen post. Then this will be in our wrap up post. So we are right on schedule. Let's take 5 minutes break, okay? And then we'll come back for the networking. Oh, sorry. I want to say, hey, students, you still have homework to do after this. And I want to ask for your special attention as the final report will due at the end, August 16. All right, so don't wait. We'll only have 1 more episode to go, but don't wait for that, okay? So let's take a break and come back at 7:25. Okay, and so if you haven't checked into chat box, please do so because at the beginning we'll have some technical issue. All right, so. Welcome back. This is the last session of today. And I always remind us, everybody needs to know that, you know, we as individual, as a team, as a company, as an organization, we have our own capacity, right? But when we build relationship with others, we multiply by those relationships and make bigger impact. That's why we're here. We're here to talk to each other, learn from each other. And before that, I want to introduce Mamoon. Thanks, Mamoon. Join us today. Would you turn on your camera? In fact, right now for the networking, let's all turn on our camera. It's very difficult to mimic what's happening on site, right? So we try our best to have some, to build up some energy, to really see, hey, we're connected. And that's the intention for Zoom at the first place, right? Because the founder, he had to travel a long way to see her girlfriend. So let's see how Zoom can help us to feel the connection with each other. So Mamoon, are you there? Okay, we'll wait for him. Patrick.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, if you could show yourself and introduce yourself, that would be great. This is your first time to join us. Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, actually, I joined it, last week. Not last week, but the week before, number 2 episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just keep the introduction short. I based in Hong Kong, but now I'm in Singapore, and I focus on trying to build some international overseas business for ITU. So there's a lot of groundwork needs to be done, but to conclude, I think for revenue generation, result is very important, right? So we have a little bit of good news, not quite 100% good news yet, but last Saturday, we have online seminar, because you know that, I'm not sure how many of you are aware that HKMA and HKMA is the longest and the most famous, vocational education training center for working professionals in Hong Kong. And they have a joint program with ITU for DA UX UI certification. So Jay actually have a seminar yesterday with the prospect that are interested in the program, and there are about 33 to 34 attendants that attended Jay's seminar. Basically, it's the first time we do this. A lot of people are interested, but they have a lot of questions in mind. So I proposed it to HKMA that why don't we have a seminar with Jay, and we got great support from Jay to spend almost about 2 hours and talk about the program, doing Q&A with the prospect students. So hopefully a lot of them come back and sign up for the class, right? And if not, we just have to keep doing it and keep doing it. So I can foresee that once we start running the program, it may start from a few students, and it's gonna grow. I trust that with Jay's experience and his charm, and we also have a lot of good reference, right, for students that graduated from DA program, and they have some good testimonials in United States, and I think that will influence people in overseas as well. So I am hoping that we can replicate this to other departments. We can offer other certifications, to countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, that people really have the spending power and it opened up another new revenue stream for ITU, and it's less it's going to be less restricted to regulation, right? For certification. So yeah, I think Dr. Johan just have a great presentation on the classes that he offered. And I actually sent my son to some of the classes. He's 14 years old. I sent some of the class. I sent him to some of the summer camp like that to learn Python and to learn, the stuff that the neural network kind of things that the things that I don't understand. So I think there's another path we can explore, right?
Sure,
and
definitely. Yeah.
Could we do something like remote for the kid and for summer training?
This could easily be packaged into a certificate.
Yeah, exactly. So something we can explore, and we should connect, Dr. Johan, and then
sure, yeah.
We collaborate on some ideas. That's how things happen, right? When we collaborate with Jay,
sure,
and then things happen. And I think you have a lot of experience, a great reputation. And I think the technology chaser, like everybody are into technology now, right? In those regions, and they would love to learn from somebody like you, and take some certifications, and even for the parents, they are not into this, but they love to spend money for their kids to do this, right? Just to have a peace of mind, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we just have to keep discussing and finding new partners and keep marketing it. And I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Totally
Wow,
agree.
this is perfect. In fact, we have 2 students from the digital art department. One Sita, she's in the class. So Sita, perhaps start with you. Suk?
Oh, hi.
Yeah, would you turn on your camera?
Oh, yeah. Sure, sorry. Turn it on. Hey, can you see me?
Yes.
You can see the top of your head.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No worries.
Yes. Well, today it's about networking. We already learned from Patrick. Right now he's in Singapore, but he's based in Hong Kong. He's organizing a new class for from the digital art department. So, I mean, perhaps you can share some experience from digital art department.
Yeah, I'm surprised that because I'm actually from Hong Kong. I'm surprised that like they work with people in Hong Kong that like they cooperate and then do some classes there, which I think is pretty interesting because I don't think like in Asia they have much UI UX specific class for the student that can like learn how do they build all this like mobile app or like UI UX design. So I think it's a really good approach for them like to learn. Is it remote? I'm wondering. Is it like ITU can offer some remote class for them?
Yes, Theta, right?
Yep.
I will send you the link. If you could reach out to me after the section, I'll type my email here. Because I am already thinking using you. So because your voice will be very related to the students that are interested, but they're thinking, before they sign up, they still have some question. And I think Jay already did a good job and, giving them a very good background. And your voice may be able to help push them on the final step, right? So I'm thinking, would it be possible that we can do like a half an hour sharing with the prospect students, so they know that, oh, somebody from Hong Kong actually are in the university, can share some experience, and something we can collaborate with Jay on this. To see if it's something possible, and of course, based on your availability and your time, if you're willing to help out on this, Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I would definitely willing to help with on this. So
Okay,
that's why
great.
we have this networking session.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I'll send you all the information. I send you the link, the brochure, and all the information in the email, and we can collaborate more.
Yeah, feel free to
Yeah,
send me
I just want to
your-
add something
I thought you-
along the same lines, if I may. I just
Mm-hmm.
talked to Jake a few days back when we had, after 4 months, we had a short session, half a day session at the new location of ITU. And one of the things that we discussed, although it still needs to be developed, but was to take the UI UX sort of program and add a little bit of technical and programming to it so that it becomes like a more full package. The person who's designing the UI UX can also code and develop a something that requires
simple app,
less, like a year of training. They can do it in a session, and so something like that would be like a more complete package. Designer plus some programming that would implement that design.
Yeah. So as we start doing this, all the great ideas were starting to come, and then
right.
And then we build more classes, and it's gonna be great, I think.
Yeah. Feel free to email me. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have an email, but I typed my email in the chat.
Yeah,
so,
I will send an email to you.
Drop me an email. Yeah. Thank you.
That would be great. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yep,
Yes, it's wonderful. Look, this is about networking. I did not know Zhou is from Hong Kong, but once we start to talk, then more links reveals itself, right? So, but again, today let's also focus on Eric's talk because he's here. He gave us an exciting talk. So is there any personal question you would like to ask Eric?
For now, I don't have any questions. Yeah, I know that I saw that lots of information about the data center, which I am really interested to. Because I know all this big data is really important to our life, or just like the COVID that he mentioned, all the data can really help us to prevent or get more information of that. So I think that was a really good share.
Yeah. Cedar is a designer, and she actually shared many links about COVID
data analytics,
visualization. Yeah. So good discussion after class.
Yeah.
And so
great. I think Dr. Johan, all the classes you designed very practical. So I think all your students is probably to pick some of those. You're in good shape. It's very practical. I think Dr. Johan brought a lot of industry technology, all this experience. So that's excellent.
That's great.
Yes. Thank you.
So the special thing about IT is we always teach something very relevant to the industry.
Yeah.
And so when we present our new curriculum and we get some feedback from the experts like you, that makes it very make us more confident, right? And know that okay, we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Very good. So okay, we'll move on to the next one. Kalen, he is from business department, right? And
yes.
it's first term.
Yes.
So I really hope that you really witness how networking with this power, right? How to bring people together. So I hope you got inspiration. But yes, so this is a good chance for you to ask questions related to yourself. Especially during pandemic, how are we going to develop business, right? This is your good chance to ask question.
May I jump in, Canon? Is your sister Kelly?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. There's another one with ITU with the same last name from Hong Kong. So I asked.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
But, so
Canon, you're from Hong Kong too?
as I am. Actually.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Well,
Okay.
well, Patrick, I think because I thought that you would recognize a last name L-A-W. That's the way that
Wow.
Hong Kong spells it.
Oh, okay, because I in the Zoom I don't see because the name goes like Kanan, then it cut
Right.
out, and
But his,
so I
his
couldn't.
last name is L-A-W. We have another student.
Oh, okay, yeah, LW is
Same-
definitely
same last name.
Yeah.
Yep.
What program are you in?
MBA, business
MBA.
analysis.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So I have one question since Eric talked about fresh grad earlier. I would like to know, is there any other advice that going to help a fresh graduate student to find a job outside of mastering your technical skills? Yeah. Is there any other thing that's gonna make you more appealing to your employer?
Yeah, I think because I'm quite impressed with the classes that Dr. Johan put together. I think people, employer or hiring manager will look at a resume or during an interview. They want to hire people can get on project or task ASAP. So they don't want to spend 6 months train people as a Silicon Valley. You're probably aware that just all running really fast. I think that's some practical classes when you're in school, prepare for that. And also we talk about the good communication, presentation skill. I think that's can really big plus for a lot of people. Yeah, I realize.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you think some kind of certificate that is related to your hard skill is going to help?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Certificate. Some of these certificate, it's not easy to get. Like networks, cybersecurity. There's a lot of certificate. But one thing also keep in mind, without working experience, some of these certificates really get a discount because like cybersecurity or like Cisco CCIE.
Mm-hmm.
So we have many candidates with the paper experience, virtual experience, but the company really, it's always good. They got a more certificate, but I think company always look at a little bit working experience.
Experience side. Yeah.
Right. If you have chance last year or 2 summers can get an internship, that will be a big help.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, next, let's ask Rainier, right? Okay. So yeah, maybe Rainier, let's introduce yourself and then ask question.
Yeah, I'm Rainier Santos. I'm taking up engineering management right now. Yeah, so I have a question. What's gonna be your biggest advice, especially after especially during this hard time with COVID happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get you clearly. I think the voice off and on. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So especially with hard times right now, with the economy and with the situation for everything, I just want to ask what, as somebody who has proven some credibility, what would be your biggest advice for us to do when the economy opens up right after COVID? I mean, when COVID becomes better.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Michelle, I'm not sure you could you hear? I just.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult to hear. Perhaps you can type. Could you type in the chat?
Okay, I will.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe you can type in the chat box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can guess a little bit because right now it's in the pandemic, lots of difficulty. And what would be your advice for students to land an opportunity in the job market when it opens up again? So I just guessed.
That's a question. Correct.
Yeah, I think in all these classes, ITU designed, I think is, like I said, very practical. These are things you can pick up more like Python, all these AI related is very practical, and also demand is huge. So my company, we have a cloud department, so we try to hire a good engineer. So in Silicon Valley, it's very hard to get. So these are, I think, you can really focus on these cloud engineer, AI engineer. Is a very, I think, very hot position in Silicon Valley. If you could have some work experience, internship, that would be a big plus. This is really, it has high demand now. I think when the economy reopen, they have more requirement from all these tech companies. So it's a good career path to be.
Wow, yeah, this is a very good tip. So right now it's still in the transition of reopening, right? But companies like you, do you still hiring an internship? So are those, or it just freeze, everything on hold?
Yeah, it's pretty much freeze. So it's an interesting time. This is my first time in my 20 plus years career. So I hired 2 people. I haven't seen them physically. So I'm going to see them next Monday, but they already start working just through room interview and get people hired. I haven't seen them yet. So yeah, it just, I think when we do a lot of engineering, eventually we pretty much can work from home, from remote, which is the good news, I think, for most of us. Yeah, I think that's an interesting time. That's another side. It's more important how you communicate with people from remote. A lot of time, a lot easier when you see people, your dining table or you're in the conference room, see each other, a lot easier to communicate. But when you do an interview or try to work with a team from remote, so the communication part, it's getting extremely important.
Yes. One of the parts of here is we get used to communicate and present ourselves in the Zoom meeting. It's a very important skills for interview, right? Okay.
Yeah, and also I think, Michelle, which is also a good point. A lot of time you might want to open your camera. So people, a lot of time people still want to see face to face, eyes to eyes. So get the connection built up.
Okay, very good. And I want to take the time to introduce Mamoon. Hi, Mamoon. Oh, okay, we'll unmute you. Would you introduce yourself? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, my name is Mamoon. I've been teaching in ITU for this is my 6th year, so 5 years. And I'm very proud of the education I did in ITU. While I was teaching, I did my PhD, and Dr. Jahan was my mentor and the head of the department where I did my PhD. It was all in artificial intelligence. So a lot of us in the industry get so busy. I worked for Motorola, for HP, for Google. And at one point, I thought it's my time to refresh my knowledge. So I focused a lot on AI to enhance my knowledge while I'm teaching. And because we want to combine our experience in the industry and be up to speed on the technology to benefit the students the most. So my area that I work on is cybersecurity. I started the department in ITU about 4 years ago. We got it approved, and I teach most of the courses. We did also a lot of certification with the largest organization in the world, with EC Council. So ITU is the circle of excellence in the Silicon Valley for EC Council. So we work with them hand in hand. We had a couple of events in the university. Also, I worked on the digital art, so I'm teaching some game programming, mostly C# and Unreal and other programs. And right now I'm focused on the capstone, so most of the graduate students work with me. So I enjoy a lot working with the students on their capstone and graduation. Other than that, I've been in the mobile industry for about 20 years, writing applications, mostly for Android and iOS. And in the past, it used to be web application for Motorola. So that's my background, and I'm glad to be connected to Jahan and the university team, everybody here, to work together on the future programs. So I'm very glad of the direction where we are heading. So any questions about like security certifications? Just let me know, and I would be glad to share with you 5 years work on this in ITU.
Yes, thank you, Mamoon. This is important. As Eric said, that certificates is very important to help you land a job in the industry, right? And security is really important in the data center technology. So, Eric, do you have comment about that?
Yeah, it's I think extremely important security side, security-wise. So our company offer all the customer some security solutions, security assessment. So it's the security industry is getting bigger as well. So it's I'm really glad to hear you guys have that offer to students. It's it can be a really good career.
Yeah. So Eric, because you used Zoom as an example, my student, we know how much criticism they got on security. Sure. And how much the politics played. Microsoft want to bring them down, and too much politics on video conferencing. So my class, my advanced security class, probably did a full dive into video conferencing. And we right now, we have a capstone on what is better than Zoom as a student. And we have the full details of security end to end and how to do it yourself. Why should I be on Zoom? If I can build it, if there is a good hosting company, should I really do all my business with Zoom? We find it unnecessary. My students find it unnecessary. We build a full solution, full secure. We're going to give snippets of samples on security and end-to-end on the 11th of August. My top 7 students focus on video, because a lot of people study all kinds of encryption, but they really don't know how to put it together. So we really spend a lot of time there. But we like the students to present and get the jobs and shine in the industry. So I have 7 students going to present. I already shared the link for them. So a lot of open opportunities in terms of AI, security, video conferencing, just these are amazing opportunities that we direct our students to go there.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, we really thank you, Mamoon, because when he teach capstone, he'll bring in investors, just like listen to them and see if it worth invest and give them feedback. So it's really a real life experience, very industry relevant. So we thank you for that. And we have 5 more minutes. So let's see, Anna is from DA department. So this is a good chance to ask questions. And she's a designer for the IT present posters and all the proposal work. So I'd like to present you. Anna, are you there?
Hi, Michelle. Yes, I am. How are you, everyone? Thank you, Eric, for your presentation. It's very good. Just as Michelle said, I'm like a DA student, almost done with my course. And I pretty much use digital arts for more like a transitioning kind of thing, because all my background is in business pretty much. So I had like no idea regarding like coding, regarding any like tech stuff you can imagine. I don't know anything. So I try to think in a way of like my background that is business and marketing, that I could use digital arts. So since I had some experience with design in the past, digital arts gave this chance to me to improve even more my skills. And I mean, I hope I was able to help IT Presents, right, Michelle, like during this time. But it's pretty much it. Like, this is pretty much like my background, and the reason why I went to digital arts is to put a little bit of technology into my background.
Yeah, that was really good, really good. Not sure in the future you want to focus on marketing, or I think there's a lot of companies looking for a good UI designer with I mean, digital art experience, or I guess end of the day, if you see some of the company or app very successful because.
That's right. Yeah, I was able to do some prototypes during my course. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's very nice to learn everything new, you know. And for me, I think here in the Bay Area, have anything regarding like, you know, a little bit related to technology is highly important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, got some technology background, but yeah, I could take the end of these. It's UI design. Every company, every apps is getting very critical. So the background, the technology, C++ coding, all these customer will see. But the customer really use, for example, the Zoom. One of probably why they're successful, easy to use. Just you don't need a whole lot of training. That is getting very important.
Okay, thank you so much. We have 2 minutes go. So Eric, would you use 1 minute to give us a wrap up, takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, Silicon Valley, I think, is full of opportunities. I think you guys in the right school, you got all these great classes, and just put your effort. Try to put on top of technology, put a little bit communication, maybe internship skill. Yeah, you are being very good shape.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Dr. Jahan, would you 1 minute wrap up? You're unmute. Okay.
I think this is sort of the best way of seeing how this sort of communication, this IT Present, could be useful, and looking at this beyond what you know, beyond just taking a class. See what you've discussed, all the discussion that's brought up today. You know, Eric sharing his, you know, extensive experience with you, giving you some valuable guidelines on what matters when you want to get a job, and also the discussions that you introduce yourself. These are all along the same lines. Good communication, ability to attend and understand a discussion and highlight what's important and ask right questions. This is always important. So I believe this is a great opportunity for everyone to sort of learn from the experts and appreciate the kind of knowledge is the sort of the essence of what people have experienced and learned throughout the years, presenting you in an hour or half an hour, you know, like that's probably the biggest gift you can get. So I would like to sort of appreciate and I would like to thank Eric for taking the time and coming and presenting for us today. And this was a great talk and great opportunity for everyone to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give applause for all of us taking this precious time to join us. Okay. So let's wrap up with thank you and see you in 3 weeks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.